Everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and today we're going to make a mixed media egg from the Dollar Tree. So I grabbed one of the big plastic eggs from the Dollar Tree. You're supposed to be able to fill them up with candy or whatever, but we're going to use them in an entirely different way. A napkin with a pretty bunny design on it that I got at the Christmas tree shop, some Mod Podge, a glass candle holder, some green paint, an off-white paint, some of the Glamour Dust, some white chalk paint, and then I just used a bunch of different embellishments, flowers, some trim, some cut up fabric. You're just going to have to kind of go with the flow on this one. And also you can choose what you want to make it out of, and use for different designs on yours. So you're totally going to make this your own. So the first thing I did was glue it shut so that it doesn't come apart. And I just used some hot glue to do that. And it comes out of the edges, so you're going to want to pull that off. That was what I was doing. So the first thing I did was give it a nice coat of the white chalk paint, and I did that on this and the candlestick. And that's just going to give me a base coat for my second coat, which will be the off-white color. So now that I have that all painted and the candlestick painted, I'm going to take my green paint. It's like a moss green, and I'm going to paint just the candlestick with that color. And the chalk paint gave it a nice base so that the green adhered very well. Next, I'm going to take the off-white paint and paint over the entire egg with that. And again, the chalk paint just gave me a nice base coat, almost like a primer. Now that I have the egg all painted and the candlestick, now I can start by Mod Podging my napkin on there. So the first thing I did was dip my paintbrush into water, and I just outlined where I wanted the design for the napkin. So as you can see, I'm just going around the design with the water. And this makes it so that it comes apart easier and kind of gives it a nice edge so it looks like it wasn't just, ripped out. Gives it a nice clean look. So now that I have that all pulled out, I just kind of pulled off where I wanted it to, I'm going to attach it to my egg, and I'm going to use Mod Podge to do so. So I'm going to Mod Podge on the egg, and then I'm going to lay the napkin on to the Mod Podge, and then I'll Mod Podge over the napkin. Now you want to be very careful, as the napkins are very, very, very delicate. So I Mod Podged over it, and I just kind of used my fingers once it started to dry to take out any wrinkles, and then I just used a sponge brush to make sure that I was getting all the Mod Podge all over the top of the napkins, and I'm going very lightly. And look, how cute is that? You can use any napkin style that you want. Next, I'm just going to take some Glamour Dust, which is just the sparkle glaze that I use all the time. And I'm just going to go over the whole design of the bunny and the eggs and the grass and the butterfly with the Glamour Dust, just to kind of give it a little bit of a shiny, glittery look. You can kind of see the sparkle there. It's not easy to see on camera. Next, I'm going to take some E6000, and I'm going to dab a little on the top of the candlestick holder. And then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to adhere the egg to that. I'm going to make sure that it's centered. And then I'm going to let it dry. Now that it's all dry, I can start with my embellishments. So next I'm going to take that same Glamour Dust, and I'm going to go around the whole egg, but I'm avoiding the napkin itself. So I'm just going around that because I really want the bunny to pop, and I didn't do the back side of the area of the napkin. I don't know if that makes sense, but so once that was all dry, I'm going to start adding my embellishments. Now I got this it's like a vine ribbon at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to put that all the way around the edge of the egg. Now, at first I thought this looked really good and I loved it, but I'm not so sure how I feel about it now, but I think it looks really cute and it also covered up the seam. Next, I'm going to add the beads. I had a strand of like pearl beads, and I'm going to add that right on top of the vine ribbon that I put up. Now, this is what I think made me not really like this, so, but I mean, it looks great in the end. It's just, you know, we're our own worst critics, I guess. But I mean, I think it looks cute. This was kind of a fly by the seat of my pants thing. I was messing around with all of it, just trying to see how it all looked. And it's mixed media, so I just added whatever. So I just took a piece of, I guess, lace ribbon, and I tied it in a knot. I tied that to the top and hot glued it. Then I took some leaves that I had ripped off of a floral, and I added that right underneath it. And then I had these paper flowers from Dollar Tree, from Hobby Lobby. They're in the like scrapbooking section where they have all the Tim Holtz stuff. I grabbed a package of those. So I'm using those to embellish the top. And I just think that turned out super cute. And like I said, you can make this your own and you know, choose your own fabrics and things. Then I took another piece of that lace ribbon and I tied it around the neck of the candlestick right underneath the egg where it attaches. And I just tied that in a knot and then trimmed it down to size. It's kind of hard to show on camera. I didn't want to lean it over because I didn't want everything that was still drying to fall over. Then I just added a couple of more of those flowers. They're like a paper flower. They're hard to explain, but they're really pretty. And I just added a couple of those to the bottom. Then I trimmed up the top. I just wanted everything to be sort of even and just kind of tweaking things. And so far, so cute. Next, I thought the candlestick looked a little plain, so I decided to run some of the beading around the bottom of the candlestick. So I added it in 2 different spots on the bottom. And again, this is really hard to see on camera. I just kind of gave it a little bit of bling to the candlestick because it was looking pretty plain. And I just went all around and then cut off when I was finished. And I think this turned out super cute. I ended up adding a little bit more of the beading to the top of the candlestick, as you can see right there. I love the way this turned out. I love doing mixed media projects. This reminds me of one of those old Fabergé eggs that my aunt used to have when I was a kid. I think this turned out adorable. I hope it inspires you to make one and that you can make it your own using a different napkin, different embellishments. It's totally up to you. Isn't it adorable? Thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to spread the chaos.